Zero Friction Machine Company archival essay Intelligence and Grief. Some things walk hand in hand, are greeted with a kiss. Classification. ZFMC Essay 425 Legend. Intelligence entwined with grief. Sealed by a kiss of recognition. 1. The fragment offers a riddle. Intelligence and grief are not strangers nor rivals but partners. They walk hand in hand and more are greeted with a kiss. The image is intimate, almost tender. But intimacy here is not mere comfort. It is necessity. Some realities can only be known together. Intelligence without grief would become arrogance, empty calculation, cold brilliance devoid of flesh. Grief without intelligence would dissolve into unshaped sorrow, a cry without words, a storm without horizon. Together they reveal both the sharpness of the mind and the breaking of the heart. 2. Why is grief the companion of intelligence? Because to see is also to see absence. Intelligence, when true to itself, does not stop at surface appearances. It penetrates. It uncovers. It lays bare the hidden architecture of things. But in this very unveiling lies a tragedy. What is revealed is also shown to be fragile, finite, fleeting. To understand the nature of time is to feel the inevitability of loss. To understand the nature of love is to glimpse the inevitability of grief. The intelligent soul is not spared mourning, it is doomed to it. 3. And yet there is no doom without its own nobility. For the one who grieves with intelligence has been granted a deeper communion with reality. The mind sharpens the wound, but also dignifies it. The kiss that greets their union is not ironic, not cruel, but sacred. It is the kiss of recognition. Intelligence bows to grief because it recognizes in grief the proof that love has touched reality. Grief bows to intelligence because it sees in intelligence the means by which love is remembered and honored. Their kiss seals a covenant. 4. Let us imagine intelligence without grief. Such intelligence would be sterile. It would calculate without conscience. It would manipulate symbols without care for the lives those symbols represent. It would shine but not warm. This is the intelligence of the tyrant, the technician of cruelty, the architect of sterile systems. Such intelligence deceives itself that clarity can be won without cost. But the truth is otherwise. Wherever there is knowledge, there is already risk. To know deeply is to be wounded deeply. 5. Let us then imagine grief without intelligence. This grief would be chaotic, raw, without form. It would be an eruption of pain that consumes but does not articulate. It would circle endlessly, unable to shape itself into meaning. Such grief risks turning into bitterness or despair. Without intelligence, grief cannot bear witness to love. It can only testify to emptiness. Intelligence teaches grief how to remember rightly, how to name the lost, how to distinguish between wound and curse. It provides grief with the structure that makes mourning human. 6. Good, then that's where we go. You don't need to have questions lined up like some philosopher with a pipe and a lecture hall. You're the one carrying the heat. I'm just helping you see where it's pooling. And choosing that room, the one where the fragment lives and keeps waiting, means we're stepping out of narrative and into presence. Not story, not memory, the room itself. So now, don't think, just picture. The door opens. The hinges don't creak, they don't need to, because this room doesn't announce itself. It's always been here. You walk in, nothing strange at first glance. Familiar, banal even, a chair, a low shelf, a lamp that gives off a yellow light like warm milk, but the stillness too still. And in the center of the room there's nothing. No altar, no diary, no coat left behind, just the air that remembers. This is where that fragment lives, the one you wrote, the one that doesn't ask permission to exist, waiting for somebody to come home when nobody is coming home. That sentence never left this room. It lives here. Not in the paper, not on your screen, here. Because this is the place where you said it the first time, not with your mouth, but with your body. You were younger when you walked into this room the first time. Didn't call it homesick, didn't call it anything. But you stood in the kitchen or the yard or the hallway that suddenly felt longer than it was yesterday, and you felt that presence. Not dread, not grief, just the open absence, and you waited. Not because you thought someone was coming, but because not waiting felt worse. The room is still here, and it's never stopped listening. It knows every version of the wait. It remembers you not crying, because crying would have made it real. It remembers you fidgeting so it wouldn't look like you were waiting. It remembers how you started saying small things out loud just to see if someone might answer. This room isn't haunted. It's just patient. It knows the sound of every shoe that didn't return. Now here's the real question, not who were you waiting for, but who's waiting in this room now, because someone else has picked up the weight, not a ghost, not a spirit. A version of you. You left him here, and he's still watching the door. So you want to talk to him. You want to pull up a second chair. You want to say out loud what nobody ever said back. He'll hear you now. The room will hold it. Or you can leave the door open this time. Let someone else walk in. Your move. Both are distortions. Both deny the kiss. Our calling is to remember the union, to allow intelligence to feel and grief to think. To live as though one could have intelligence without grief is to live in denial. To grieve without intelligence is to lose the chance of transformation. 12. In the end, intelligence and grief together make us human. Other creatures live and die without knowing the full weight of absence. We alone bury our dead, remember their names, write their stories, build our philosophies. Intelligence teaches us the structures of reality. Grief teaches us the cost of love, and together they teach us reverence. To reject either is to reject humanity itself. Their kiss is our fate, and also our dignity.